Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a modern mountain waterfall house. If you enjoy this video, please do hit that like button as it really helps me and the channel out very much. Here is the amount of space that you need to make your modern mountain waterfall house, roughly a 9 by 14 block area. All that's important is that you find a mountain or hill that roughly accommodates this amount of space. Feel free to make the grid if you feel as though it will help you out. Here are all of the materials that we are going to be using throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. So, step 1, ladies and gentlemen, if you made your grid, you want to come to the bottom right hand corner of it. My grid has went missing because it was a little too big, but the bottom right hand corner is the important part, which is this block right here. Extend outwards from this corner by 7 using smooth quartz block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to extend to the left by 3. 1, 2, 3. Extending inwards from this third block, place a smooth quartz stair, and then a smooth quartz block. Extend that smooth quartz block upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend right by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then back towards the wall. So, depending upon the wall, you can see that some parts of the mountain are a little bit more outwards than others. You just want to extend it back as far as it will go. We then want to come back to the quartz block that we extended to the right from, and we want to extend up by a further 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then once again, we want to extend back to the mountain. Like, it doesn't matter how far back that is. Let's say it's this far back, whether it's a little bit closer, whatever it is, we want to extend back that far. It gives us this shape. It's kind of like a 3D F, actually, which is kind of funny. The next thing that we want to do is we want to have a row of block of quartz that is equal to in height as this row of vertical block of quartz that we have here, except we want a row of block of quartz, it just wants to be one row to the left. So if that makes sense, we want a parallel row of block of quartz that is equal in height to the row that we have just to the right of us, just like this. What we then want to do is we want to take the top of this row and we want to extend it to the left by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to extend back to the mountain. You can see that this part of the mountain is actually a lot more inwards than the right part. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, isn't that kind of weird? Well, no, actually, it actually makes the build look even better because it's not all symmetrical. We want to also take this row of block of quartz that we have here. So you can see the one that we have on the right. And this wants to carry through to the left side. And it wants to join the mountain in the exact same position as it would just up above, if that makes sense. So now that we have kind of like a backwards F of sorts. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to come down towards the bottom of the build, and the row of quartz that we placed earlier, it was right the way up at the front of the video actually. We want to extend this row of block of quartz that is connected together to the rest of the house with the stair. We want to extend this block of quartz to the left by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It should line up with the area that we have above us, to which we can then extend it and connect it back to the mountain once more. We now want to start figuring out how some of these platforms are going to work. So, the first platform, I want you to take the inside of this area here, these two parallel rows of quartz. We're going to extend this block backwards and we're going to join it to the mountain wall. All of the area inside of this, so behind this area here, we're going to fill it in using block of quartz, and to the right of the area as well, we're going to fill it in with block of quartz like this, right? we want to add a little block of quartz. Actually, you don't want to have a block of quartz in between these rows. And the reason being is because underneath the rest of the platform, we actually want to fill the underneath part of the platform in using quartz slabs. Now, the reason for this is because a lot of the lowest part of the platform is a pool. So we're just going to fill all of the other remaining area in underneath the platform that we've not filled in with strictly block of quartz or smooth quartz as it is. We want to fill in using smooth quartz slabs. And if you do want to like even things up, like underneath the platform, if you want to make the entire underneath part of the platform quartz slab, then you can. But I kind of like it not all being the same. And why do we want to have this? Well, first of all, let's extend a row of block of quartz all the way up, right? So in between and behind these two rows. I also want you to add sea lanterns in 3 positions. Number 1, at the base. So we've got to destroy a couple of these quartz blocks that we placed. Number 2, where the 2 horizontal rows of quartz that we have midway up the build are, and we also want to have a sea lantern that coincides with the top of the build. So it kind of just marks out some of the important parts of the build, if that makes sense. This area down at the bottom here can now be filled in using... Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, here's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you might want to include in your item list some sponge. If you try and... Where is the sponge? If you try and place water on top of slab blocks or in slab blocks, you can place water in a slab, which gives you that effect that we had here. The correct and effective way to fill up the water pool is to place the water buckets on the sides. So place them against the block of quartz or smooth quartz and against these back walls until it is eventually still. Do not place them on top of the slabs. This is an easy mistake to make, as you just saw, so you will have to probably sponge it out. It's just easier to sponge it, and then you'll just have to like replace it, just as I have here. We want to be able to walk into this pool, so I'm actually going to replace some of these block of quartz with quartz stairs. So this is supposed to be a pool. We're supposed to be able to walk in it. I'm going to place that, and then I'm going to waterlog these quartz stair blocks. Make sure that you don't accidentally place too much of it, because you can accidentally then place it in the slabs, and then we end up with a waterfall underneath the house. Not what we want. It's not what we want. Okay, so up above here, what do we want to do? This is a platform. When we placed the quartz block, it's a platform. I want you to play... We'll start off by doing exactly that, right? So why don't we just fill in between these rows of smooth quartz? Why don't we fill it in using smooth quartz? We'll just create a solid platform. The thing is, there's a little bit more to it than that. So just completely fill this area in with smooth quartz, and we will do the same at the top. So just 3 rows or 3 platforms filled with smooth quartz. Easy as that. That's what we want to have. But we are going to be changing this in a second, and let me show you why. So we have nice solid platforms, but we want to have water flowing down inside of the top of the platform. So we'll just focus on this left side here. So the water wants to flow down 1 row inside of the smooth quartz, and it wants to drop into a hole that is below. Now, we can get a really cool effect. That block doesn't actually have to be. We can get a really cool effect where the water acts almost as a curtain or a wall. The way that we achieve that is we drop the water through here. And as a matter of fact, I'll show it you. Okay, so if we place the water against the block of quartz here, then you will be able to see that the water drops through and we get this really, really cool effect. So it's up to you how you want to have this. Like, you can have water that flows all the way through the house, and I kind of like that effect. Like, you've kind of got this little pool on the outside, and then what's inside here is hidden. I mean, you could even have kind of like a nice little hidden room here as well. Or you could just... I kind of like that aesthetic, actually. I didn't design it with this in mind. This is what I had in mind, was to then place smooth quartz slabs underneath this, and then you've kind of got this veil up above. You've got this, and then you've kind of got like a nice empty pool. I actually don't know which I like more. You can have it either way, but what I do want to have is I only want to have a water effect on this right side the same way that it is now. Like, I don't want it to flow all the way down. So that means carving out an area just inside of we just carve out an area just inside of the outer block of quartz area. We add the same thing to the platform below, and then we place smooth quartz slabs underneath this, just like so. And what we will then be able to do, of course, is place water to the sides of the smooth quartz, and it will drop down and it will give us the same effect that we have to the left. So why don't we test what I was just talking about? So why don't we have kind of like one effect on one side and another effect on another side? I actually quite like it. I think that looks cool. Again, I'll leave it up to you, but I do definitely want this side to be I want this side to be exposed. I'm gonna place blue stained glass pane around the right side of the bottom of the platform here. Unnecessary for anywhere that we have the water, and also unnecessary around the pool because we're already dipped down. I'm going to place a water in front of the sea lantern that we have, like this, so that the water looks like it's flowing. You could even have it so that if you wanted to make it look like the water was coming from somewhere, so perhaps inside of the mountain, you could have a source block that, there we go, perfect. So you could have a source block like extend from the mountain in and down like this if you wanted to. You wouldn't even need like a solid quartz block boundary, I don't think. I think that slabs would do it. And actually, I'm thinking, is this crazy talk? If I take away the slabs, oh, it's just flowing anyway. Oh wow, okay, we've shaped the water because the... No, we haven't. No, we haven't. We have done nothing. Okay, so we can have this. And then that actually looks alright. But again, you know, choices. It's up to you what you want to do. If you build this in a snowy area, a snowy mountainous area, prepare for your old pal ice to appear. You might want to find a regular mountain to build it on a rocky cliffside, but you guys get the idea. Now, we've covered just about everything with this house, but you might be wondering to yourself, so how is it that I get up and down to the house? It's actually very, very simple indeed. So... the way that I have it is that I have a hole in the mountain. It coincides with the vertical row of smooth quartz that also has the sea lanterns in it. So I'm going to dig into the mountain here in the same, again, the same plane as this area. Dig a few rows into the mountain and then dig down. So let's dig down. Now this is going to take a little bit of experimentation. You're not only going to have to dig down, but you're also going to have to dig out. That was bang on. What? Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly where I wanted it to be. That's actually the ground level. Not only do you want that, by the way, and you can add. I'm just going to add a couple of sea lanterns just up the back here. We'll have to add ladders into the hole, like this. I can't believe that was perfection. Well done, me. Okay. So we'll add some ladders in the hole here. It'll lead us to our lowest platform, and we can chuck a door on there. But we'll also want to break up into the upper platform. Now, the easiest way to do that is to come to the upper platform. I think you take the same area, like the same line that we created the entrance lower down, and you just want to dig a decent amount into the mountain. Now that that's marked out, we come down to the lower hole, and then we dig up. Perfect. And if you... Okay, water? No, thank you. And then we can dig up, and now, if that makes sense, and then that marks out, like, where we've got to... There we go. And then that marks out this. If you want to make the ladder look a little bit fancier, like you might want to add some grey concrete to it, you might want to add some smooth quartz, you might want to add a lantern up at the top just to provide light. You know, you can make it as fancy or not fancy as you like, but the important part is that we get here and that we have a doorway, and there you go, perfect. Any blocks that you want to have as a floor, you're going to want to replace them using smooth quartz. We have more ice here. Again, the issue with making this in a snowy biome, a cold biome, is that the water will inevitably freeze and it ruins the house. So you probably don't want to build it in a snowy area. Probably should have said that at the start of the video, but yeah, it's not great. What else? Honestly, the only thing that I want to do is I want to make this entrance down here look a little bit fancier. So I'm going to excavate some of the hill here. And I'm going to... Okay, so let's say that the door's here, right? The door's going to be there. I want to have block of quartz, left and right of the door. Above the door horizontally, a row of grey concrete. And in front of the top of that, smooth quartz slabs. Boom. So, that's how you get up and down. That's how the house looks. And the only thing that you might be wondering to yourself is, well, TSMC, how do I decorate it? So, I'll give you a little idea. I'll go away. I'll decorate the inside of it a little bit for you. It's going to be a little bit of a blend of survival and a little bit of a blend of just kind of like a modern house. It's just going to have like a little chilled out living room, essentially, and then everything else that you'll need for survival. And I'll decorate that, and I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. And I'll also probably clean up some of the walkways and entrances and stuff. So this is what your house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen. You can't really see the inside that well from here, but you can see that it has certainly been decorated. There hasn't been much changed with the outside of the build, so I feel as though that we should probably just drop down to the main entrance, and we should work our way up, as if we can't fly. So, the way that we enter the house, of course, once I get the right perspective, is we walk through this doorway, and we climb up these ladders. Now, we have two stops. We can either stop off at... Oh, we can stop off on the lower level. There we go. Perfect. And this basically has access to the pool, which is really cool. And we have a couple of lanterns in the wall, and we have a couple of plants. And basically, we can just like look out onto the Minecraft world. Like it's just a cool place to be. Like I really like it. Or we can go back into our little tunnel, and we can continue climbing up. And up here, we have loads of cool stuff, like we have a nice little living room with a TV, but we also have a lot of survival stuff as well, like absolutely everything that we need for survival, so it's a nice, really cozy blend. I really like it, and you can still vaguely see out of the house as well, which is really, really cool. Like that's the whole point of the waterfall house, like it's a really awesome look. And in this other room here, we have like a bed, and we have an ender chest, and we have some storage. Like it's just like a really fun, awesome house. And if you want to, like, it's quite easy to... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Backwards. There we go. If you want to, you can. It's quite easy to like climb up the house using the water, and you can get to different levels rather easily, and you can just like climb up the mountain and stuff. Like it's just a really, really fun house, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That will ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And if you want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!